Should you start saving early for retirement or should you wait until later? Well, I have real life examples, myself and my husband. One started early, one started late, and I am going to tell you the exact numbers today, where our retirement stands. But before we get started, if you are new here, my name is Jennifer. I make videos weekly on saving money through being frugal and implementing minimalism. I am also documenting our journey to paying off our mortgage by the year of 2024 and ultimately being financially independent. So if any of that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today, I am going to tell you exactly what is in our retirement accounts. A lot of people do not talk about this detail, and I've said before that not talking about money is, for some reason, very taboo and doesn't make sense to me because people are more comfortable talking about intimate things than they are finances. And I think we need to somehow make that change. So today I am going to be vulnerable and tell you guys about our retirement accounts, and they're mainly going to show you what the difference is between starting saving early and starting saving later. Now, if this doesn't apply to you, that is okay. If you're at the retirement age or if you are already financially independent, go ahead and take this video and share it with somebody younger, because I know if I was 20 something years old, I would have loved to have watched this and get real life examples of what my retirement could be. The two accounts we are going to talk about today are 401k and IRA. To make this simple, I've got the definitions of each rather than me trying to explain it and taking way too long. In case you aren't familiar, we'll do this quickly. A 401k is a plan that is tax advantaged. It's defined as contribution retirement account offered by many employers to their employees. Workers can contribute contributions to their 401ks through automatic payroll withholding, and their employers can match some or all of those contributions. The investment earnings in a traditional 401k plan are not taxed until the employee withdraws that money, typically after retirement. Now, an IRA can be three different types. An IRA is an account set up at a financial institution that allows an individual to save for retirement with tax-free growth or on a tax-deferred basis. There are three main types of IRAs. Each have different advantages. You've got a traditional IRA, which you can contribute money to and you're able to deduct on your tax return. Any earnings can potentially grow tax deferred until you withdraw them at retirement. And then you've got a Roth IRA, which is where you make contributions with your money that you've already paid taxes on. And your money can then grow potentially tax free. You also have a rollover IRA, which is where you contribute money rolled over from a qualified retirement plan to a traditional IRA. Rollover meaning you pull it over from a 401k or a 403b. So I know all of that's very boring, but I needed to point that out in case somebody is not familiar and you're watching this video and you want to know what in the world I'm talking about. Now, my husband read a book when he was in his probably teens or early 20s that changed the trajectory of his life. So he has always been a naturally a saver. I am a spender, and often you will see that a couple will be a spender and a saver just to kind of balance each other out. But he read a book and he told me what it was called, Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. He laughed because he said it was on the Oprah Book Club back whenever she was, still on the air. And that book told him that you should be contributing 20% to your retirement. I've made another video on how there isn't a set amount that you should contribute. A lot of times people say an average of about 15%, but I think it also depends on when you start saving and when you plan on retiring. If you start saving early, yes, probably a lower percentage. If you start saving later, you're in your 40s or 50s, you're probably going to need to add a larger percentage of your paycheck. So now I am going to get to the details and show you the difference. Now, I really wanted to show you these numbers and tell you these numbers to show you what accounts a retirement account can look like when you start super early or when you start a little bit later. So the IRA I have is from contributions that I made between the years of 2011 and 2015. And for purposes of ease, I'm going to try to round these numbers. I contributed $5,800. So at the end of 2015, I stopped contributing into that IRA. As of the end of 2020, that had grown to almost $28,000. So $5,800 to $28,000. Now, my 401k, which is an account that I have been paying into for probably, I think, 5.5 years now, maybe 5, maybe closer to a total of 5. So from the years of 2015 to 2020, I have contributed $29,700. Now here's the fun part. It has grown to $76,300. That is huge. So part of that is a match from my employer of 4%. And they match, I can't even remember what it is. It's 4% up to a certain percentage. And I have put in between 5 to 10% over the last 5 years. When I first started, again, I was so, I'm not going to do this. I don't want my money to, I'm not worried about retirement. Even just 5 years ago, my husband almost sounded like a auctioneer. Every time a new year rolled around, it was like, he would say to me, all right, you're at 8%, can I get 10? Can I get 10? What about 10? Can I get 10? All right, we're going to go 10. The next year would roll around. All right, can I get 12? 12, maybe 12. Can we do 12? I got so tired of hearing it. I'm just one of those people that I don't like people to bug me about things. I like to come to decisions on my own. Or come to realizations on my own. That's just part of my personality. But so between those years, I have contributed between 5 to up to 10%. So I'm currently at 10%. Now my husband is where it gets very interesting. So you're going to look at me and you're going to say I have an IRA of $28,000 and I have a 401k of $76,300, okay? And that's from, that's for 9 years, all right? Well, my husband started very early. And again, he started with a high percentage. He has always put between 15 to 20% of his paycheck into a retirement. He has an IRA that was from 2014 to 2020, and he has contributed $39,500 to that. Out of that, it has grown to $64,200. Now, the most interesting part of all of this is his 401k. From 2005 to 2020, so for 15 years, he has contributed $156,600. It has grown to $422,000. Now, he also gets a 5% match up to a certain amount. Do you see here the difference? So, my 401k is at $76,000 for 5 years. His 401k is at $122,000 for 15 years. Compound interest starts working. So I wanted to do a little research. I went back to look at the average stock market return for the S&P 500. From the years of 2011 to 2020, it was 13.9%. Lifetime. This is the most, I think, important to think about, because the lifetime of the S&P 500, it is around 10%. I think that is huge. So there will be some people that say, oh, the stock market's not getting more than 8% right now. Well, that is a whole lot more than you get just keeping your money in a standard savings account or a money market account at a bank. The percentage of money that your money will make sitting in a standard savings account or a money market account is not even enough to keep up with inflation. And if you haven't heard, inflation is happening very rapidly. So what our money is worth right now is not what it's going to be worth when we retire. So I wanted to give you guys a total. As a household, my husband and I, if we combine everything, have contributed $231,600 to a retirement account. Again, 75% of that is my husband. Now, all of that money has grown to a total current retirement account amount for us of $590,000. Now, if we did not do anything else, meaning we didn't put another nickel into our retirement account or another match into our retirement account, and we retire in 20 years, and let's say we're going to use 10%, which is the average lifetime of the S&P 500 yearly return. So for the next 20 years, if we did nothing and we received 10% average return, we would have for our retirement, this number's big, $4,328,000. That shows you how compound interest works for you. Now, I also did a little bit more research. I wanted to talk to you guys about giving you an idea. If you start out at, say, 29 years old and you invested in the stock market for 30 years, so you retired at 59, how much money you would have if you put a certain dollar amount in per month. So if you assume 10%, and we're going to say 30 years, and you invest just $100 a month, you could have $226,000 in your retirement account in 30 years. If you invest $500 a month, which is a car payment, it is an average car payment right now, you would have, get this shows you how much little of a difference adding an additional $400 a month to your retirement account can do. $1.1 million. If you put $750 into your retirement account monthly, you would have almost $1.7 million. Here's where we get big money. If you can contribute $1,000 per month, that's $12,000 per year, you would have $2.26 million at retirement. So what does all of this tell us? This tells us that we need to start out as early as possible. Make saving money a priority. Invest in your future. Now, these accounts are not everything that we have. We have diversified, which I think is very important. Diversify everything. Diversify your income as well. Don't depend on one thing. One thing with the stock market is to ensure that you are investing within your 401ks and your IRAs very wisely. Teach yourself about investments. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. I like to think back to the show Downton Abbey. Has anybody seen that? I have probably watched that series 10 times. I love it so much. So I know it like the back of my hand. But you remember how the Earl of Grantham, Robert, invested all of his money before the war in, I think it was a train company, and he lost all of it. He literally put all of his eggs in one basket. Do not do that. Diversify, because if this one thing goes down, that's okay if you're diversified, because you've got these 5 others perhaps that are actually doing well. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.